Our goal is to go from this data set into this person monthly sales report. Now in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 videos, we've seen all sorts of methods for creating this sort of report with a formula. Well, our pal, Bill Szysz, sent me yet another amazing way to solve this. Now, the first thing we're going to do is convert this date column into a column with end of the month dates. And we're going to use the end of month function. Now, here's the crazy thing. The end of the month function, which goes all the way back to the Analysis Toolpak functions that used to be an add-in, they were added into Excel in Excel 2007. And the problem is all of these functions are programmed differently than the rest of Excel's worksheet functions. And the problem comes when we try to give end of month the full column to do a function argument array operation. That's not allowed. All of these functions will not allow a function argument array operation. But there's a trick. And Mr. Excel had an awesome video that showed if you use double negative, you can get all these functions to make a function argument array operation. And all that means is rather than putting a single item into this argument, we're going to put an array of items. Now, we are going to use let and lambda to create a single cell formula. But let's look at this amazing trick with end of the month. If I try to put the entire date column in there, and then comma, I want to go to the end of the current month, so I jump 0 months ahead, close parentheses, Control Enter. There's the value error, F2, by simply putting double negative and Enter. Now we force that function to make a function argument array operation. Now, for this calculation right here, sales, based on the month and the person, we're actually going to have the start and end date for each month. So here's another great trick, F2. We're going to backspace, and in months, instead of putting a single 0, we'll put -1, which will give us the end of the month from the previous month. And we can use that as the lower limit and this as the upper limit for adding our sale. Now watch this. I'm going to make a function argument array operation right here. In curly brackets, -1, comma 0. Now, the funny thing is start date is programmed to accept a single item. But the code underneath for months didn't have this problem. So we can put a function argument array operation. And this means it'll spill across the columns because comma in array syntax means column. So when I hit Enter, that is amazing. From a single formula, we've converted a date column in a transactional data set into a lower and upper limit that we can use in SUMIFS for adding sales for the month. Now, what we're really after is a unique list from this data set with all the people and the 2 end of the months. But before we can do that, I want to take this 2 column of dates and add the full person column. And the way we can join columns together is by using the choose function. Choose needs an index number, and then we list our 2 columns. But because we want to simultaneously get this block and join it next to the person column in index, we'll use array syntax. We want the first item, comma, the second item, in curly bracket, comma, value 1, well, we have that, comma, and value 2, that's the person column. Now, this isn't going to work when I close parentheses and Enter, because look at what it did. It only got the first column from the end of the month delivering 2 columns. When we use the array syntax, that's the first column. Our trick is after the first number 1 in the array syntax, comma, and we repeat 1. That one will grab the first column. The second one grabs the second column and retains the column from the first argument. So that's our formula. Now, this is still at the transactional grain, and we really want a unique list of all of these. So F2, we simply use unique. And unique with multiple columns like this will give us a unique set of rows or records. And there's our condition and criteria side by side that we can use inside of SUMIFS. Now, we saw a bunch of cool tricks there, but now we want to use let because we have repeating variables. Let, after the equal sign, Alt-Enter to add a line. I better open parentheses. The name argument is where we put the name of the variable. I'm going to call the date column D, comma. The value for that variable name is the date column, comma. Name 2 will be P for the person column, comma. The value for that variable, person, comma. Variable 3 will be called S, comma, for the sales column. Now we want a comma. And this block right here of conditions and criteria, we're going to call that the variable CR, comma. So there's name 4. That's the value. And let's test it right now, comma. Here's where we can put our calculation, but let's just test our variable CR, see if it's working inside of let. Before we can do that, however, let's use our variables. So instead of that date column, it's going to be D. Instead of the full person column, P. So there's the beginning of our single cell report formula. So when I enter that, those are just the conditions and criteria for SUMIFS. Now we want to sort by person and then the date column. So in the top cell, we hit F2. And for unique, we're going to use sort. And very carefully, after unique, we can see we have the array, comma. And sort index, we can, in curly brackets, say, please sort column 3, then by column 1. End curly bracket, close parentheses. And now when I hit Enter, there's our block of the single sales rep and the date smallest to biggest. Now that we have our 3 columns, lower limit, upper limit for counting per month, and the sales rep name, we need to use SUMIFS to calculate this column. Now, this is one block or one table, columns 1, 2, and 3. So if inside of SUMIFS, we're going to need to access each one of those columns in the criteria argument, we're going to have to look up the columns using index. So F2, backspace, Alt-Enter, and this will be called tot for our total column. That's name 5, then comma, and the name value 5. This is where we get to use SUMIFS and index together. Now there's the SUMIFS argument. It says sum range, so we simply put our variable S, comma, criteria range 1. Well, we have 3 conditions. We can do this in any order we want, but I'm going to choose the person variable for the person column first, comma. The criteria that goes along with that column, well, we need to look up this column, so we use index. In the array argument, we put our variable CR, comma. And for row number, since I want all the rows, I can either indicate that to index with a 0 or leave it omitted. I like to leave it omitted, comma. The column number, well, that's 3 for the person column. Now that little formula element will deliver all of the person names to criteria 1, doing a function argument array operation. But we're going to use that a few times, so I'm going to copy, comma. Criteria range 2, well, we're going to have to look at variable D, comma. The criteria for the lower limit, in double quotes, greater than, end double quotes, and we have to join it to Control V. Now the start date is in the first column, so we'll simply change this to 1. So there's another function argument array operation where it's asking, hey, the last day from the previous month, I want anything greater than that, comma. Criteria range 3, we'll put D, comma. Criteria 3, well, this is the upper limit, so I have to say less than or equal to, and double quotes, and join it to Control V. And that's in the second column. And that date, of course, has to be included. That's why we have the equal sign. And SUMIFS, that's name value 5, comma. We'll do the calculation and test our variable tot, close parentheses. So it should give us a single column. And if I remove the date number formatting with Control-Shift-tilde, there's our sales total for each sales rep for each month. In the top cell, F2, we can backspace. Alt-Enter. And now we can make our final report calculation. Now, what do we need? We need person, end of the month, and then that tote we just created. So that's mashing 3 columns together. So I use choose. And in index number, we want all 3 columns simultaneously. So in curly brackets, 1, comma 2, comma 3, close curly bracket, comma, value 1. Well, Control V, we already have that saved up. That is the person column, looking it up, comma, value 2, Control V, and we want the end dates from that CR. So that's 2, comma, value 3. Well, that's tote. Close parentheses on choose. And we'll go ahead and see what that calculation gives us. That's our final report without the total row. Now, there's a bunch of ways we can add totals. But let's check out this cool way that Bill Szysz has created. Now, if we were to look up all the rows using index, it'd give us all the rows. But what if we asked index, give me all the rows plus 1 too many? Well, then we'd have errors down here. So that's what we're going to do to back into our total row. I'll use index. And there in the array is the full final report, comma. So in row number, we'll create a sequence of numbers, 1 too many. And then in rows for sequence, we'll say how many rows are in the CR variable. And we'll add 1, close parentheses. So now there's an array of row numbers 1 too many, comma. For column, we want all 3. So 1, comma 2, comma 3. And curly bracket, close, close. And when I hit Enter, index is polite. It puts 3 errors. And now, up at the top, F2, what if we just use if error? Well, there's the full value. And at the end, backspace, comma, value if error. Well, wait a second. We need 3 items all in a row. Actually, it's 1, 2, 3 items, 3 columns mashed together. So we'll use choose again. Index will be 1, comma 2, comma 3. And now for value, I don't want anything in that first column that's 1 cell. So I just put double quote, double quote. That's a 0 length text string that'll show nothing, comma. Value 2, we'll put the text grand total. And double quote, comma, value 3. Well, we'll use the sum function on the S variable. That's the full column. Close parentheses, close on choose. That little 3-cell row will appear at the bottom of the table. Now we close parentheses on if error, close parentheses on let, and there's our finished report, including the grand total row. Now we want to add some new data and see if our report updates. I click in a cell, Control down arrow to jump to the bottom. Here's some new data, Control asterisk to highlight everything, Control C. I'll arrow over, and when I paste this at the bottom of this Excel table, now those records are incorporated, and our reports are updating. Now, last video, we saw this exact formula, and we saw how to use LAMBDA. I'll have a link to this video at the end. But what we did was LAMBDA defines a function, and we went ahead and listed the only 3 variables, date, people, and sales. Then we pasted let, and instead of the D referring to the full date column, it refers to the lambda variable. And then up in Name Manager, we created a defined name with some notes, and there's our formula. So you can go back and watch that video, but this is what it did. We then have a function we named person month report, and that's it. We only have to put in those 3 variables. It's great if you're going to use the same report throughout the workbook, or you want to give it to someone else to make it easy on them. All right, it's awesome hanging out on our online Excel team. Thanks to Bill Szysz for this cool formula, and we'll see you next video.